First up, I want to show these. These are pictures of the underskirt, jacket, scarf and hat. These were parts I had already made before starting to record. If many people want to see these patterns that I used for making these jackets and the hats, then I will try to recreate them, but these videos are more about making the persona cosplay and showing off how the project goes, instead of the usual step-by-step description of how you can recreate the project yourself at home. But now we can finally get to the parts I was able to record, starting with the details on the mask. I made this mask using EVA foam floor mats, which I cut to the particular shape, and in the middle cut I used a slight angle to get the sharp edges, and I used a Dremel to sand down the eyes and the mouth of Arsène. Then I cut out the placement for the eyes, the nose and the mouth on another floor mat and glued this on the inside of the mask. Then I cut out the horns and sanded them sharp on the edges of the end. Then I cut out the eyes on the corresponding placement of the face mask and covered the holes with netting. So I'll still be able to see through it, but with a black background or just my face in it, you won't be able to see through it. And as the last part, I used some 1mm EVA foam on the particular edges of the mask to have an extra bit of detail. And I sprayed it all with a base layer of plastic dip and black spray paint. For the eyes and the mouth of Arsène, I still needed a little bit of extra color for the flames, so I hand painted these on. For this I used some red, orange and yellow acrylic paints, of which I applied 3 coats of the yellow and orange and a whopping 5 for the red. I painted the red all over the sanded reliefs and all over the netting of the eyes. After I had applied all of the red layers, I went back a little bit shorter and painted all over the red with an orange. And after those layers I did the same for the yellow to get the red to orange to yellow gradient that fire usually has.
My word of conflict, one goes what keeps me going. Take back what I lost to the bosses of greed and fear. Yeah. Don't ask why I'm ready, but I'm ready to take them down now. The time for a new start is constantly drawing nearer. Gotta clear my head of anger and greed. A place to refresh heart and mind. Can I find some time and rivers and dry.
When I was finished with the mask, I had to do a few more things for the clothes. First up, the gloves. I made the base of the gloves with some red fabric, and I made the fingers from a black variant of the same kind of fabric. I had first made a test piece of the gloves you can see me use as a reference. I had also measured out the length of the fingers and need them to fit. So with this information I drew on lines onto the piece of folded black fabric to get 2 identical pieces for the fingers. After I cut these out, I tacked them onto the red fabric to be able to sew them later on.
I
First I had to sew out the loose fingers to the red base of the gloves before I could sew the complete glove together. This is so it will be easier to sew them on. After that was done, I only had to go along the outline of the glove to sew it all together. After that was done, I only had to turn it inside out and get the second one ready, and I will head to gloves to glue the nails on for Arsène. Then I only had to sew one more thing, the scarf of Arsène. For this I drew on some white fabric, a straight line to use as a base, and at the end I made the whitened part that sticks out when Arsène wears it. Later on I will make a second one that is a little bit bigger than this one because it was a bit too small for my taste, but I will notify when that comes up in the later part. And after I had cut out all these different parts, I still had to sew them together since these were still two different pieces. But after that sewing, I went to work on these chains. Because for this cosplay I wanted to have some chains that Arsène could have hanging around his arms. Because in his awakening scene he has all these chains around him, which are also a great symbolization of where Joker is in the story of Persona 5. But let's get back on track. In his normal form he doesn't have these chains. But I still thought it would be a nice addition, and it would also give some passive movement while I would wear the cosplay. So for how I made them, I made this at my school using the laser cutter, but you could easily do this with a jigsaw. But I first made these chains with some wood, and I used this shape with a cut on top to be able to connect them. So when I had them all connected, I glued these cuts shut so they won't be able to come loose. And I also cut one of the chains in half to be used as the first pieces to be glued to the braces. Then I painted these black to be used as a base for the dark silver I will be applying later. After that it was time for the braces, which I made from some high density foam. I cut this out with a hot wire tool and sanded them smooth and added some curved edges. Then I glued them to the chains with some cardboard bracers to give them a little bit of extra strength and design. Then I started to work on the wings with some PVC pipe for the bones of the structure and some 3D printed hinges. But you will have to wait for the next part to see the rest of the making of the Arsène cosplay. So, we hope to see you all in part 2. Keep those creative gears turning. See you in the next video.